Tell your friends you're listening to the Verhoeven Effect podcast. I'm Conlon,
And I'm Nathan.
and we have another special episode. We have the 1995 movie Desperado. Nathan, do you have a history with Desperado?
Yeah, this was in my night shift days. This
Okay.
was one of those movies you rent and eat pizza and watch after work, and then remark at the fact it's like interesting. Like, I have the same handgun the character does. One of the first gun I ever bought was the gun he had in this movie, and I didn't know that it was in this movie.
Huh.
And it's like, oh, he can hit the broadside of a barn with it. I couldn't because it's a decocking, double action, single action guns they thought were good ideas in the late 80s and early 90s.
Okay.
Now nobody makes a trigger like that. The guns went out of production in the early 2010s, I think.
Is that the ones he flings out of his sleeves, the silver ones?
Yeah, the Ruger KP90s,
Okay.
or the 45s. They were originally developed when the first time the Army wanted to replace the Beretta. That's what these came out of, and then they decided just to keep it. Designed to basically feed any ammo and not be maintained. And they are very rugged and durable, but they are very hard to hit anything with.
the Berettas or these KP9?
KP90s,
Okay,
they have
okay.
very heavy trigger pull. Yeah, I bought the Beretta a lot later.
Okay.
Actually, the Beretta you can actually shoot that.
Okay.
This gun I could never
Because
hit.
I also hear bad things about Beretta where it's like, yeah, you can run it forever, but it kind of gets kind of hard to use after a while. So,
It's not. Yeah, they're not the anything that has a decocking DASA trigger. I don't like.
okay, yeah, it's a hard
It's
trigger pull.
yeah, the trigger dynamics are going to change. First pull is going to be a real long pull, and it's going to really and because it's such a long pull, the trigger is going to bind and bunch on you.
Yeah.
So it's actually going to get even more resistant right as it breaks, which you do not want. At least
Okay.
I don't want. For me, shooting
Yeah.
guns, I'm a terrible shot when triggers are like that. When triggers are 1911s, Glocks, or some other kind of there's no decocking mechanism. It's either safe or it's Glock, whatever that
Yeah.
is, which is don't pull the trigger, dumbass, unless you want to shoot, which is actually pretty good. Um, those are fine. These kind of guns, it was from an era of safety that no longer
Okay.
exists.
Yeah, because I've never actually shot a Beretta, so I just never knew. The closest I got, as I know, Andrew has that Sig P226, and
Yes,
it has that really heavy first trigger pull, but then it has a
yes.
very crisp. Every trigger pull after that is very crisp.
I
So
think that's why the Sig Sauers gained popularity in law enforcement. Because if your department for whatever reason wouldn't use Glock, they would use Sig Sauers because at least after that first trigger, it didn't leave a lot of slop in the trigger from that extra take up.
yeah,
So yeah,
and like technically my 320, there is a difference, and even though it's striker fired, there is a heavier first trigger pull, and everyone else is less. But it's so minute that you could barely notice
yeah,
it, and you would never notice it in emergency situations.
no, you probably wouldn't even notice even the heavy pull that if you're scared shitless. So, but it's good. It's just better practice. Everything I've ever learned about shooting from shooting guys, and all the classes and stuff I've taken is it's better to have just a consistent trigger pull.
Yeah,
Except that revolvers are weird because yeah, you rack the hammer back and it gives you that really delicate pull, but that gun's almost intuitively designed for your hand just to pull the hammer back if you want to.
yeah.
So it's a kind of a different animal. Like you know what you're doing, whereas a lot of automatics, it's like that trigger.
Reach up over the beaver
Yeah,
tail.
hammer's not going to come back like as intuitively as a revolver.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh wow, this guy has the same gun that I do. It's like he must be a really good shot. Never hit. I mean, I could hit pop cans at 25 yards with it, but with effort. It wasn't like with ease.
Yeah.
It's like, well, this is terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I want to say I saw this on theaters. I'm pretty sure it was just a rental, but I can't remember. But it was like a really cool movie
Yeah,
um, at the time and still now. But it's definitely like that whole like Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, Kevin Smith, and other indie scene coming together to make a bunch of stuff. So
What kind of movie can we make for under 10 million? This one.
Oh yeah, this is like, well, even like the movie he made before this, it's like I think it was like a $3,000 movie, and it's like, you
Oh,
know,
El Mariachi, yeah.
yeah, and it's like a brilliant use of like whatever's hanging around to make an action movie out, and you basically calling in favors from like, like, oh, we have some, we have some cousins in this city in Mexico. They're just gonna let us like use the city square for like a day. um, and it's like, damn, and he did the smart thing too. Well, I guess it was smart at the time, because so many people would want to like, oh, I'm shooting an independent movie. I'm gonna shoot it on Super 8 and blow it up to 16, or I'm gonna shoot on 16 and blow it up to 35. And it's like, yeah, that's your entire budget. You better be just shooting people talking, because you're gonna shoot through your budget. Um, or you better have no words that people flub. But he shot on videotape, and then he just like upscaled the videotape, and then had the upscale converted to like 16 millimeters, so then he could show it in theaters. Because they didn't really get like a wide release; it was just known. And then
Yeah.
everyone's like, "Oh wow, this movie costs $5,000." Yeah, even though you just forget that like Miramax paid like 50 grand to do the transfer for it to like play in theaters. um, he said, "What if we give this guy $2 million?" And it's like, well, he could make like a great action movie. So, and then
Yes,
Quentin,
I did watch El Mariachi. I mean, I've seen the whole Mexico trilogy,
yeah,
so, but I've seen El Mariachi probably more than once.
yeah,
It is kind of cool. I mean, it's
yeah.
like,
It's you get to see a
you,
clever filmmaker do
yeah,
things.
you
It's
can
not
see,
necessarily like, is this a great movie? It's like, it's clever and well made. So,
yeah, you can see the DNA clearly of like,
yeah,
oh, this evolves into that, evolves into that. It's like, yeah, that makes sense.
it does have like a great poster.
Yeah,
um,
yeah, because it's basically a guy with a guitar case and like a Uzi with a silencer on it, or a Mac 10 or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, walk in the middle of the highway with a turtle like in front of him
Mhm.
for some reason. I don't know what that symbolizes, but yeah.
Yeah, there's probably some things that we miss out on that.
And you don't see his face either. But maybe that's part of the mythos. So, um, but yeah, it was definitely like the height of the indie scene.
Yeah.
Like, there's probably an indie scene now. It's just like a whole different thing. It's like now an indie movie can be made with $100 million just because it was, independently financed and not financed by a studio. But actually, when you get into like studio financing, it's not like it's weird too, because it's not like the studio actually financed any other movie either. They just convinced somebody else to finance it. So it's
Yeah.
just just going to billionaires is like, hey, do you want to be a film producer? Like, hell yeah. It's like, cool, we'll take your money. um, because you hear it like both ways. It seems like movie studios are taking all the risk, or they took none of the risk, and it's probably somewhere in between. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what was some indie films recently that I don't know, because does A24, do those count as indie films, or
yeah,
those are?
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because I know that
I mean, they get bigger and bigger, but they're still,
was that one called, the one about the concentration, like Zone of Interest,
Oh yeah,
where it was just like, it was really the sound of the movie that freaked you out. I mean, everyone looked weird and they were acting strange, but when the family's like having dinner and you hear like trains and people yelling and being herded out of cars, it's like, oh wow, that's like, why do I feel like I need to go to the bathroom? It's like really uncomfortable, and these people are just sitting there eating and looking very German and kind of staring into the middle distance. Like, yeah, those are the kind of indie films they do now.
but I think like
Stuff too.
even though it's probably like 20 years old, but like those Paranormal Activity movies, like those were just independent movies that like they were cleverly made stuff and got made it big.
Yeah, yeah, those do have kind of a cool vibe to them.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we did watch Love Lies Bleeding, which that felt like an indie movie.
Yeah, Yeah, that movie had like that had a lot of the strangeness in it that you love with those
Yeah.
kind of movies where it's like this is not going to be this is going to have like a dream.
this this isn't a 4 quadrant movie. We don't even know if this is a 1 quadrant movie.
Will involve fighters and giants and weird like kind of incest stuff, and it's
Yeah.
like okay, but it's going to be told in almost a dreamlike state. It's like what actually happened?
Is this a love story? What's going
Is
on
this a
here?
metaphor for something? Yeah.
um. So yeah, it came out August 25th, 1995. So basically a summer movie, but it's August, so it means they didn't necessarily, August is a time where you can like, they have no idea. It's like this, this could be a hit, this could be nothing. So that's when they put it out in August. So
Post bankable money in the bank stuff, but
yeah,
it's
like
like
people are
stuff maybe
peop
it won't hit. Yeah.
yeah, it's like you're not at the peak of like grabbing the biggest audience possible, but people are in the mood to go to movies, so you might hit something big in August. So, which I assume was successful. I think it spent $2 million in this movie, and it must have made anything above that is a success. So,
Yeah, what did it say that they spent 7 million making
oh,
it,
okay, okay,
and they made 60 million,
okay, yeah.
which is that's not like that. You don't get all the rental figures on this. You're just getting the box office because it's older. So
I hope is this like Miramax or Dimension, which were the same thing? I
this
can't
is
remember.
like Sony Pictures, I
Really?
believe.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I just figured because it was Tarantino was involved, it had to be Miramax. So, because
yeah. It
both.
says well, distributed production was Columbia, and then Los Hooligans,
Oh,
which is
that's Robert Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, and then Sony Pictures released it.
Okay.
So yeah,
So yeah, it's directed by Robert Rodriguez, written by Robert Rodriguez, one man band. Cinematographer is Guillermo Navarro, which I think he shot it. Because
it's
usually,
kind of weird because I've watched like things about like how does Robert Rodriguez like frame a shootout and stuff, and how does he, and it's like it seems like there is a director of photography on his film and he does a lot of stuff, but a lot of the stuff you remember was all Robert Rodriguez. That's because he's like the smash cut guy and the
yeah. Well, the reason lot of the style of his movies, he gets setups done incredibly fast because he went to school for this shit. He knows how to light a scene. He knows how to shoot a scene. He can do it all himself, and he can do everything. And then just like, all right, remove it. He knows, and he also knows what he's going to do next.
yeah.
And so if you don't have that communication issue of like having to get a crew to do all that, and you can just do it all yourself, so it's easier to do that. And the more shots, the more setups you have, the more shots you have, the more editing choices you have. And so there's just like so many just little things in this movie because they just shot so much.
Yeah.
And not like long takes, like just different small pickup shots here and there. And there's just so many delicious little things in this movie. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've seen Guillermo Navarro before. Like he works with Guillermo del Toro a lot. Probably won an Oscar, I believe, and did some of the Twilight movies.
He did the Long Kiss Goodnight.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like we did him recently, yeah. So Long Kiss Goodnight, yeah. So
Jackie Brown. He did
From Dusk Till Dawn, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, from Dusk Till Dawn, right after this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's done some Spy Kid stuff.
Yeah.
Robert Rodriguez does because I think he has like 9 children, and he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I like to do these.
Well, yeah, he like just literally I want to make. I mean, it was almost like a low rent James Cameron. It's like I'm gonna start my own special effects studio, and then he made movies with them, and they look like trash, but they were major release movies, and people love them, so who cares? I guess. So.
Well, it's just like you can get your kids. Like if you do something you can take your family to,
Yeah.
and it's mildly entertaining. It's like Money in the Bank.
Yeah, yeah.
Not everyone has a dad like me. It's like, well, son, you're 12. You ready to go to the weird independent movie theater? Watch movies about, just where people sit around and they're subtitled. It's like, yeah, Dad. Like most people don't do that with their kids. It's like, hey, you ready to go see Annihilation? So I know you're into that. Oh, you got to read these 3 books before we see it. Some people take their kids, and we went and saw like we did do a lot of fun movies too. Grayson still remembers when we did the Tron with the glasses.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like that was still a cool experience. He goes, that movie wasn't very good, but man, it looked
Oh
cool.
man, I love that movie.
Yeah,
Again, story wise, not good, but like music and visuals,
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. And we paid for the full, like that's when the IMAX was.
Yeah.
You could do extra IMAX glasses things.
Oh, okay. I did watch it in 3D, but I didn't have IMAX, so.
Yeah, we did the full 3D IMAX silly glasses, and he was like, "Yeah, Dad, that was fun." I was like, "Yeah, it's $27 a ticket. So I'm used to it. We're doing this once, but it was cool."
I know they got that new like Tron movie coming out. It's like, I don't know what they're gonna do with it. It's like, especially that soundtrack was like just way too good. How they gonna top it? It's like, well, what if it got 9 Inch Nails? It's like, I'm listening. So,
To exclusively do it
Yeah.
as 9 Inch Nails,
Yes.
like in the credits. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay,
yeah,
cool.
Trent Reznor's singing again. Who would have thought?
Yeah. Because the full trailer just came out like 3 days ago, and it's like that's Trent Reznor singing in the background.
Yeah.
So yeah, me and Grayson are gonna do that. We're probably gonna go see the new Superman.
Yeah, I hear good things. I still want to
Yeah.
go see the F1 movie, but I just haven't been
Yeah.
like, going to the movie mood. Because that the guy who did F1, he did like the Top Gun Maverick, and he also did that Tron Legacy movie. So
Yeah.
he does great visual looking movies. So
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure like everything like about the story to F1 is gonna be stupid. So it's like that's not how racing works. Because you can see it right in the trailer. It's like, everyone's faster than us. We have to build a car for combat. It's like, the fuck you talking about? You mean adding weight to your car so it loses?
Yeah. Like, how do we win? It's you cheat with math and science.
Yeah, like everybody else.
What if we put a titanium fin? No.
But it looks like a spectacle. And, they really went out there, on, race weekends. So they at least shot amongst an actual race. It's not like they actually raced.
Oh, no.
Because the cars they used were actually like F2 cars, and they just made them look like F1 cars. So
Yeah, the production value of like Formula One or Indy is just going and being able to shoot is like, oh, that's insane.
yeah.
Because you're like, that's a special effect. It's like, nope, that's real. That's how fast and loud those cars are.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's
Yeah, because they got the interesting like, I don't know, like 4K like GoPro cameras where you can see almost in like 360-degree motion as like it takes a corner. It's like, that looks cool. Like, I don't know how fast they're going, but that looks dangerous. So yeah, written by Robert Rodriguez, and probably maybe 2 or 3 scenes written by Quentin Tarantino, uncredited.
like it. Yeah.
There's
Maybe Steve Buscemi too. I don't know.
yeah, like
Steve Buscemi's a pretty talented writer. Also, a lot of people don't.
Oh,
know.
really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
A lot of the work that he does for himself is like, well, I can do the full Buscemi, but right, and I'm gonna. He did a lot with some later stuff he did, but yeah.
And the cast is Antonio Banderas, Salma Hayek, and Joaquim de Alameda.
Yes, who we've seen in he's been like the bad guy
Yeah.
in a lot of things. Yeah.
He might be his most like charismatic bad guy.
Yeah, probably.
He's fun for like a bad guy. It's like,
Yeah, for like a drug dealing psychopath, regional drug dealer power guy. I was like, yeah, he's pretty dynamic.
like yeah, he's like despicable, but he's like somehow like practical about it. It's like,
Yeah.
this is the situation. What are you gonna do? So,
I'm trying to think when did I really pay attention to him? I remember when he was like the in Clear and Present Danger.
right.
He was like the colonel from the other country who figured out that who was killing the drug dealers.
Okay.
And he killed the lady. I forget what else. He's been in all kinds of things.
But this movie,
He's actually Portuguese.
yeah, I mean, it's like was Antonio Banderas Spanish, but here he's it's like he's Mexican. So.
Yeah,
And this movie, pretty much as far as I know, made Antonio Banderas and both Salma Hayek like movie stars.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Because I didn't know who either they were before this movie. So
Yeah, I mean, Selma Hayek has like been eternally hot for like she's been hot for like 40
yeah,
years.
yeah. She managed to like,
Crazy in
oh,
this
I'm
movie.
still gonna be thin and my boobs are gonna get bigger. It's like that's impossible.
I'm evolving, human.
um, but also like not really a great filmography on her.
No,
Like
she's just,
you like her in movies, but she's not in the greatest movies.
no, she's having fun.
But neither's Antonio Banderas, so
Yeah,
he doesn't really have the greatest movies to his filmography. But he's fun in Zorro, which that's pretty much a no-brainer after this.
yeah.
um.
He's great as the Puss in Boots character and.
Oh right, yeah. Like I like him in Assassins, but that's a dumb movie. So was it? Oh wait, was he even? Was he in that crazy like terrible action movie like? Oh, was it something X versus Sever?
Oh, I think that was him. I believe so.
Ballistic X versus Sever.
Yes, it was him and that Asian lady.
There it
This
is.
was-
Oh wait, it just disappeared. Oh, Lucy, was it Lucy Liu? Yeah, Lucy Liu. Yep, that's him in it. I've never actually watched that movie. I just remember being like, this is a completely impossible title to like decipher what this like what does that mean when you say that movie title.
Yeah,
Like I guess I mean it seems like something like it seems like a like when like a Japanese anime like accidentally has a cool name just because it translated weird and nobody ever put those two words together before.
that's what I was thinking when I first saw that title. Is that someone who's not an English speaker that came up with that? Like, they speak English, but it's not their first language. This makes sense. It's like, no, it actually doesn't.
Yeah, and there's also this movie made Robert Rodriguez, and then also he shoots movies fast. So of course, like the next year they did From Dusk Till Dawn, and then after that I think it was like The Faculty after that, and then he was on. But also it's interesting that this franchise is like the Mad Max franchise, where like every movie is like a retcon of itself, where it's like
Yes.
it's never actually a continuity. It's just here's the same pieces. Here's a kind of a different world. So, which is interesting. So, and of course, when you first saw this movie, you probably had no idea that this was a sequel. So,
Yeah, a lot of people probably didn't know.
yeah, I didn't know about it until I like started getting into like film, learning about films and stuff like that, and getting DVDs. And it's like, oh, this guy did this. It also just seemed weird. It's like, well, El Mariachi is like. It's a Spanish language movie, but it's shot from a dude from Texas. And it's like, well, we can go down there and have fun and just shoot it in Spanish and do everything cheaply, and they just let us have rain in this town. So that's the way they did it. So paid for by medical studies.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He always said like the biopsies medical studies were like they were the worst because they're the most faithful, but then you're in and out and you get like $800. So, because I think he went to the University of Texas.
Okay.
So I think that's where he went to film school. And also like him Robert Rodriguez is probably most analogous to John Carpenter. And that they just do everything. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna write, direct, shoot, do the music. I'm gonna do everything. Like nobody's gonna tell me what to do. So, the quintessential independent filmmaker. So, whereas like,
Trying to think after Dusk Till Dawn, what I paid attention to. Robert Rodriguez, probably Sin City,
yeah,
and then of course they did the Planet Terror, which I
yes,
I kind of liked. The Machete was funny.
yeah,
It's a movie based on a fake trailer that became its own thing.
Yeah.
I didn't see the sequel.
Is there just two, or is there only two movies, or is there like three? Is there like Machete in Space, or is that like one they're making?
That might be their one they're making because here I see Machete, Machete Kills.
Yeah, Machete Kills in Space upcoming. So,
Okay, good.
but it's
But
listed as in development, so that doesn't mean anything. So,
oh, okay. Yeah, those are kind of the last things I paid attention because I remember like this and From Dusk Till Dawn were real like tent pole like those are cool movies.
yeah. I mean,
Uh,
Faculty's really good. It just never seems like a Robert Rodriguez movie.
right, right.
Um, and then yeah, of course, then like all the Spy Kid stuff. That's nothing for us, so we're gonna miss that whole
Yeah,
thing.
that'd be weird if we're doing Spy Kids. It's like
And then he did. There was that movie called Four Rooms where he did a segment of that.
right.
I don't know if you've ever watched Four Rooms. He did the
I,
segment about the dead hooker in the bed.
okay, no, I never picked up on that. Probably should.
There's what the last section is directed by Quentin Tarantino, and it's amazing. It's like watching an episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
Okay.
It's like basically like just big one shot, long dialogue. Here's just this one concept, and it all leads to this thing, and then it's a wacky zany thing. Wacky, violence. Yeah, and then it's hilarious. um, yeah, I did two. Yeah, I did Grindhouse. Did the two Sin City movies, the two Machete movies. And then really his like the only time he got to do like a big Hollywood movie was Alita Battle Angel because he never liked it working with Hollywood. So that was like the first time he actually did it. Because I don't think he was actually a part of like the Directors Guild ever or whatever.
Oh,
Because I think like all his movies are independent, so it allows him to get away with it. Because like he technically like shot the Sin City movies as a co-director with Frank Miller.
okay.
And if you're a part of the Directors Guild, like they don't allow co-directors or whatever, or at least not under like, or at least under specific circumstances or something like that. Because like you always have like, well, it's directed by the Coen brothers, but like technically, I think Ethan's always the director, and then like, what's Joel is like the writer, but they're working together on set, so they're basically co-directing. But what's listed as what their roles are listed as formally is that Ethan's the director and Joel's the writer. So I think, or it's the other way around. And you got two choices here. Oh yeah. I love that episode of The Mandalorian he did, and then he did the whole Boba Fett series, which kind of wet fart that was.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also, he has a great book called Rebel Without a Crew. So it goes through his life as being a director and doing short movies with his family, and his Steadicam was just he shot a lot of things on VHS, edited on two different VHS, which that's the old way you had to do editing back then. And then his Steadicam was a wheelchair that he like acquired somewhere at like an abandoned hospital or something like that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a good book. It's I really like Robert Rodriguez, and then he got really weird later on in his life. So, he like cheated on his wife, like with like when he made that Planet Terror movie with the lead of that, and then I'm not sure if he married her or what, but like he divorced his wife after that. And then there's that chef show on Netflix where it's I always forget his name. The guy from John Favreau.
Okay.
Where he just like, it's not a scripted show. He just like goes and hangs out with people and they make food. And he goes to Robert Rodriguez and he has like his wood fire pizza oven like built into the house, like it's like a clay pizza oven or whatever like that, or brick pizza oven like just in the house. And then before you can make a pizza, he makes you like draw a picture. And it's like All right, Robert. It's like let's. He's also a great artist. Much like,
Okay.
much
Yeah, I
like,
knew he was into animation initially
yeah.
in college. But
It's
yeah.
why it's why the poster looks great. It's why a lot of shots in his movie look great because he just knows how to pose a scene. And if you ever seen his, what do you call that? Where it's just like still shots of like how the shot's supposed to be set up.
Yeah.
Um,
Where they draw it out the storyboards.
yeah, the storyboards. His storyboards look like comic books. Like it's amazing.
Okay.
Um,
Huh.
and I also don't know if you've ever seen like James Cameron's drawings, but they're amazing.
Oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
I mean, that's his whole book, Tech Noir, is like it's a lot of his drawings, and it's because he used to like draw like for like Roger Corman, he would like make $200 drawing posters for like shitty movies.
Okay.
But like he was so like even controlling back then. It's like it takes me this long to do this. This is not. I'm not making money doing this. And it's like I need to move on. So then becomes like one of the most biggest technical directors in the world. Just like going to film colleges, libraries, and reading books, and then conning his way into like, hey, Roger Corman, I'll do special effects for you.
Why not?
He did get fired making Piranha 2, so
Yeah.
a movie I've never seen, and I don't know if any of the footage, if he shot any, was actually in that final product or anything like that. So, and I forget why he was fired. I imagine going over budget because that's what James Cameron does. So.
Yeah.
um. Yeah. Any other cultural or personal memories about Desperado that you remember?
No, it was just one of those cool shootout movies of the '90s.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's weird because like you definitely had the John Woo movies like are influencing this, but this feels like its own flavor, and it feels like nobody copied this either.
No, yeah, the whole like let's set it in Mexico and deal with that side of it was like, yeah, that did make it unique.
Well, it's almost like the way like everybody else is just a cannon fodder, but like the way he shoots his gun, it's almost like he's dancing or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's very cool.
Yeah, a lot of the because he does like a kind of a flip motion.
Yeah.
Shooting, and it's like that looks cool. That's not how you shoot a gun.
Yeah, I don't know.
Gun is very boring, but yeah.
But it just looks cool. It's like, yeah. I mean, everything he's doing is like irresponsible and dangerous, but it looks cool. So.
Yeah, the gun safety on the set here, the gun handling was like, oh, this must have been. You wouldn't get insurance for this. At actors, at each other, they're running with the gun. Now, I'm assuming they're dummy guns, but
yeah.
Budget of this movie, I don't know.
Yeah, we've seen that go wrong.
Yeah.
Let's have a character load up a gun, not use it, and then spin him on a table when he's frustrated.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll get into it. We have Act 1. We get Buscemi, played by Steve Buscemi. I don't think his character's name's actually mentioned, but in the Internet Movie Database, he's listed as Buscemi.
Yeah, that's all the things I found. It just says that, so.
Well, I'm going to be calling Antonio Banderas El Mariachi because that's how he's listed in the credits. He actually gets a name at the end of the movie, but nobody ever says his name otherwise, and he doesn't tell anybody his name any other time either. So
Yeah.
And even Buscemi doesn't say, hey, you, in his name. They just start talking at each other. So. Which I don't know if it adds to it or if that's just like accidental, like poor scripting.
Sometimes that's how people talk to each other, especially if they know each other's names.
Yeah, but like the times I've had to like write screenplays, you always make sure to like, all right, first 10 pages, make sure everyone says their name out loud or somebody says their name. So you know who they are. In good movies, that doesn't matter. In bad movies, you're like, well, at least I know the character's name. So, because bad movies where you don't know the character's name makes it even more frustrating and worse. So, this is why you have to watch movies with the Internet Movie Database open and with subtitles on. Buscemi walks into a bar. He puts out a cigarette on the floor. He takes a bar stool and is like he's acting annoying intentionally. He's like trying to piss everybody off here, kind of, or just be a gringo tourist or whatever. Because that is like a common thing here of just gringo tourists mucking around. I ever left the States, Nathan? Do you ever like do tourism in Mexico?
No, I've been to Canada a few times, but I've never been to Mexico.
Okay.
It doesn't. It looks like an interesting place.
Yeah.
I mean, I like. It's like we can film in this land of. It's like, is this like the Star Wars Cantina land? Oh, but I don't know anything about the culture or the people.
Yeah.
I just know it. To me, it looks like vaguely cool. It's like it's like El Mariachi fights drug dealers in a post-apocalyptic Mexico. It's like kind of. I mean, everything's old and terrifying and dirty and
It also seems to be like the wildly different people. Like here's someone old and craggly and falling apart. Here's someone overweight. Here's the most beautiful person in the world.
yeah.
They're all poor. They're all. I guess can't just say they're all poor, but that's the how it's portrayed. So, and also you watch movies and it just scares white people. It's like, oh, if I go to Mexico, they're going to capture me and hold me for hostage. And it's like, it seems that most people vacation to Mexico and it all goes fine. So it's, I mean, there's still kidnappings, but
yeah.
You're not too special that that you need to be kidnapped. So I do like, I don't know. I think the only thing I want to is go to like an Arena Mexico wrestling show. That would be fun. Because there is like just this arena there in Mexico where this one wrestling company, they just like have a wrestling show there every week, and that's the only place in the world that happens.
Okay.
Because typically, if a wrestling show ran the same place every time, eventually nobody would just show up and go there. So you always have to move towns to where interest is waning and growing and stuff like that. So it's like,
yeah, I guess that makes sense. I never thought of it that way, but yeah.
But the difference with Mexico is that the Arena Mexico and this wrestling show is a tourist attraction. So it's like people come from all around the world and come to watch a wrestling show, and there's just like always an audience there. So, and the was it Lucha Libre? Yeah, I think that's it. Lucha Libre wrestling is like crazy because it's all.
Okay.
It's like this movie. It's all spectacle. It doesn't make a lick of sense, but it looks very entertaining. So. We get Cheech Marin as the bartender, who he also like would show up in From Dusk Till Dawn, and would seem to be in the. Oh, was there other? Did he pop up in other like Rodriguez? Yeah, he had to like been in other Rodriguez movies, but did he pop up in other like Tarantino movies and stuff? I can't remember.
I think he did, but I can't remember which ones off the top of my head.
Because it feels like these guys all use the same like cast of people and stuff like that. It's like, oh, we're gonna trade back and forth. Like,
yeah, Quentin Tarantino seems to have a crew around him. That's like it's like a unaffiliated group of people that always end up in his movies.
Yeah. Well, it's because like here we get Buscemi showing up, and then in From Dusk Till Dawn we get Harvey Keitel showing up. I guess that's it. I guess they really kind of stopped collaborating after that.
Well, he was in Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Okay, yeah.
And but I'm not seeing any Quentin Tarantino.
I guess I didn't talk about that. I remember that being a very disappointing movie. Do you remember at all?
Well, again, like you said, it's one of those movies where it's like it retcons itself.
Yeah.
And I remember it's more because Johnny Depp was like, was he the main? He was kind of like, he played the.
He wasn't the main bad guy, but he was like this antagonistic CIA agent that was like pulling all the strings, and then his eyes got torn out, and then him and a blind kid, while he had Uzis, would like kill the drug dealers. Which that sounds cool, but it's like all kind of stupid. So.
Yeah, I remember like Once Upon a Time in the Mexico, it just was over the top.
Yeah.
Because I always thought like Johnny Depp was like a It's like, is this what the Buscemi character was? What was? Because we don't know who this guy is
Yeah,
in this movie. It's like, oh, was he like some agent of the American government working with the Nazi? And it just became the Johnny Depp version just got insane, where he's actually kind of insidious.
yeah.
And it's like, I want to help you, but if I ruin your country in the process, like, oh well, it's yeah, that was. Whereas, yeah, in this it seemed a little more subdued.
Yeah.
Because we don't know why Buscemi's helping him, but he is.
Yeah, he needs a friend.
Yeah.
And also, weirdly, like Once Upon in Mexico was like a resurgence for Mickey Rourke, because then after that he did like the wrestler.
Okay.
um. So yeah, Cheech Marin's a bartender, which I think he's just called Short Bartender in the credits. And then Buscemi tells a story of another bar he visited and the place getting shot up, and we cut to a guitar player in the shadows, and this is like a brilliant bit of writing, which makes me think it's Quentin Tarantino writing, because what it's doing is it's revealing the thing you never see about a script, which is like the in-between descriptions of a scene. And so basically here it's like the scene descriptions are being brought forth in dialogue.
Yeah.
And when he describes as the guy as like shadow like crawling up him, and then just as his face is about to reveal it's not, and stuff like that. It's like they're bringing forth the scene description, and like, oh, that's actually what makes a good script, but it's actually like it's up to the director to depict that. And so that may never, like, that cool description of how it's supposed to feel may never actually make it to the scene. But here they doubled down on it and basically make sure it's a piece of dialogue, so you know how cool the scene is. So yeah, we just get a flashback, and I don't even know if this actually happened. I presume it did, and maybe he's embellishing, or actually I guess not. So the rest of the movie happens is just as crazy as this flashback scene. So Basumi mentions Bucho, and that catches people's attention because this is like just a bar is just a front for drug dealing. Of course, but we find out this entire town is just a front for drug dealing. So.
Yeah.
Which I'm guessing they're drug dealing to tourists. We don't really see like drug addicts like hanging around the town.
Oh no, that's almost always heading north. Yeah, one way or another.
We got a shotgun firefight in the flashback because El Mariachi has his trusty. What do you call? Was this a duck gun? This short barrel shotgun.
Let's see, which one is this? I think it is. There's only one shotgun credited in this movie. This is a real gun movie.
Well, he's got two of them. He's got like that striker shotgun also in this scene.
That's right. Yeah, the one that was the street sweeper kind of.
Yeah.
He does have that, but the sawn off one, yeah, that's a Rossi Overland. Yeah, because Selma Hayek uses that one too.
It's also like in the poster for Desperado where it looks like he's praying on his shotgun. That's the shotgun in the.
And these are the super shotgun days.
Yeah.
When you shoot people with a shotgun, it transfers enough energy that they're thrown like a jet afterburn, toss them through the air. That's. But it is cool. I somebody explained once why they did that with the shotgun in the movies. It's because it sounds like a cannon. It has a very distinct sound.
Yeah.
So they just started to, because they wanted to show like, oh, when you use a shotgun, it's like firing a cannon off. It's loud. And so it's like, yeah, of course the body's going to fly through the air. It just kind of made sense.
Yeah.
Because if you just shot, what would happen was the person would just freeze up and fall over because all the shot fly through their body. But yeah, when you're firing a shotgun, it's like firing a cannon or something. And when you fire a shotgun in an enclosed room, like all of a sudden nobody can hear, like fumbling around. Some people are concussed that weren't even hit. But yeah, in movies, it's because I guess when they started doing that, it's like, well, everyone knows that like shotguns don't do that.
Yeah.
But it's movie magic to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's that was
and he's basically almost just like punching people with a shotgun. So.
Yeah, because when he fires it, it's like thrust.
But also, it's like it was you don't around time there's a mythos around the sawn-off shotgun. It's like
Hmm.
that's why it's illegal because it makes it more powerful, even though it's not idea that the what.
No, it's just you can kill 5 or 6 people in a crowded room
Yeah,
because the shot's going to spread out like this. And remember, if one piece of that buckshot goes through your skull and into your brain, well, you're essentially dead. Like that. That's all it takes to kill you is with
yeah.
that. It's a 32 caliber ball going into your skull.
But we
But
got
no, when you saw it off, it also almost all the energy it's supposed to generate is lost immediately. So it makes this huge flash.
yeah.
Everyone's like, "Oh, it's disintegrating the air. It's so."
And
No, it's just the black powder burning off into space.
I know like sometimes, especially back then, you had to like. But I guess this wouldn't really have blanks because it doesn't have to cycle anything. But back
Yeah,
then when you had semi-auto, well actually even full auto stuff because you can do that for movies. The blanks would be like extra like loaded to actually cycle the gun, so that's why
yeah,
you have like so much fireballs on everything. So, but also it's not pushing a bullet, so it's just like expelling all this unused gas and lighting on fire out the end of the barrel. So,
yeah.
but that's like dual use. It looks cool and it also like keeps the gun cycling for looking like it actually works. So, um, but then also you have to do the weird thing of like, well, don't shoot directly at somebody. It's like okay,
You can still kill them.
yeah.
If there's anything in that barrel, it's gonna throw it out at high speeds.
Because I can't remember. I was watching like behind the scenes for The Killer, the John Woo movie, like the '80s one with Chow Yun Fat, and they're like showing them like shooting a guy and like basically like they have this Beretta like basically like 3 inches from this guy's stomach and you can see like the ripples on the guy's stomach and he's in the movie like the squibs go off and like he's just aiming slightly off to not directly shoot at the guy and it's
Yeah,
like it all little still looks completely dangerous. um Also it's fun here like the way to save money is like Robert Rodriguez only had 2 stunt guys, so they had heavy use of like bandanas. And so anytime you see like guys die in a scene, it's usually 2 guys, and it's like the 2 stunt guys they have, and they just dress them up in different bandanas and stuff like that. So, but yeah, we get Antonio Banderas as El Mariachi, which again, like this is the first time I would know who he was, and this movie feel like this movie made him a star. I guess we can look at his internet database and see if there's anything we recognize in him before this. So.
no, I did. There's nothing.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff in Spain,
Oh, okay.
and there's some stuff in Mexico. But yeah, I think those are like soap operas,
Yeah, yeah.
which is another thing that this movie has a lot of fun with. Are Mexican soap operas.
Yeah,
Everyone's filled with lust. Plot twists are insane.
yeah.
It's like just we'll talk about, and you know which one I'm talking about that comes at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I forgot.
that's normal like Mexican soap opera stuff.
Oh, I guess wasn't was he yeah, was Antonio Banderas like the boyfriend to Tom Hanks' character in Philadelphia?
Um, I think he was, but didn't that come after this?
No, it was before this. That's 93.
Oh, was it? I thought Philadelphia was.
Also, apparently, it was an interview with a vampire, and that was before this as well. But
Huh.
I don't remember him in that. So
Yeah. Okay, didn't know that. But yeah, this is the first one this is the first one where he's like a
first starring Hollywood movie. So.
deep role guy doing crazy action stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's how I kind of got typecast after this. So, which I guess I don't know. I guess it suits him. I'm not sure. I don't know like how to categorize him as an actor. He's just kind of like a fun character. I don't know if he like inhabits his roles or anything like that. You just like him in movies.
Yeah, well, he has a cool way of talking.
Yes.
He has a cool voice. He has great dialogue delivery. He has wide eyes that he's good at transferring. Like
Yeah.
he can transfer a lot of emotion without saying things.
Yes.
but but he's not like Anthony Hopkins or Timothy Chalamet or something.
Yeah,
Where,
yeah.
oh yeah, I believe he's this guy. It's like, no, this is Antonio Banderas, and he sounds cool and looks cool.
Now, do you think all the flourishes he does in those movies are him, or do you think
Yeah,
that's like Robert? Okay,
because he does stuff like that all the time.
because that's sometimes you know, it's like people don't really give Keanu Reeves credit for his acting ability because a lot of it's like he's not great at delivering dialogue, but he actually is like a great body actor.
Yeah, he's a good physical actor,
Yeah, which
and
I
he
think
does convey a lot with his like expressions and stuff.
yes, and like he even like advocates for less dialogue for himself because he knows his strengths. So, and I feel like that here is like a tour de force of Antonio Banderas' body acting.
Yes.
I mean, it's over the top, but it's like fun. So
Well, it's like another Spanish actor we know really well is like Javier Bardem.
yes,
Now he also like sounds cool and looks cool, but his thing is like low key dangerous,
yes,
where he's not like he doesn't have a lot of drama. He tries to,
he's more in slow motion when he does his weird like mannerisms.
yeah, because he's tried to be that over the top guy, but then he almost immediately resets, which makes him scary. Like I've seen roles where he's real, like when in the one James Bond movie when he was the bad guy, he could be really over the top, and then he would go to that dour dialogue again, and then do
Yeah.
something insane, which like, well, that makes him more scary because
Yeah, I know he's in the F1 movie. He's like some like energetic CEO or something like that. So I wonder how that comes across.
that would be neat to watch because it's two guys with the same background, totally different styles.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
Let's see where we at. Oh yeah, we get the like. I like this thing. There's a point where he walks out to Buscemi in the flashback, and he kind of like puts his hand through the hair, and he pulls a shotgun out. just looks great, like just magic tricks with handguns. So.
yeah,
um. Uh. And so yeah. Now Buscemi has like primed the bar he's in currently with fear, and then he leaves. There's also a fun thing where like he he asks for a glass of beer and he says like this beer's great, and everyone looks at him like we know that beer's awful. And then at some point he's like, hey, can I get a clean glass? This one's dirty. And then the bartender gets mad at him. So
yeah, like spits his toothpick at him.
yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
They're both enthralled and they hate him in this scene. It's a very interesting scene. So and I don't know if like the how they structure this is like actually for like maybe making it cheaper, but like you don't have to actually like connect together every action moment in this scene. You can just cut to a moment. So I don't know if that makes it easier for the production or if that was just an interesting way to set up this character. So I mean, it's doing a good job of just building the myth right out front. Like you're saying this guy is a myth, and then everyone's like, yeah, that guy's not true, and then like, well, maybe it is. So then we cut to credits, and we have with El Mariachi and his band performing at a club, and we get is it like Chino and oh man, what's the other guy's name?
Oh, his sidekicks.
Compa and Chino, I think is
Yeah, Campo was the one guy's name. Yeah.
And that's the guy. So Compa is the guy with the dual machine guns, and that is the protagonist from El Mariachi.
Okay.
So now they've switched roles. Which I understand. You're gonna get Antonio Banderas. He has a bit more screen presence than that guy. So,
I also think Antonio Banderas speaks English.
yeah.
Guy speaks English.
Yeah, I don't know. Like he does. He's like went on to be a film producer, and they seem to be all like foreign language. So I imagine he just, stayed in Mexico and did his thing. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We see some danger about, and then like El Mariachi like gets on the bar and like is playing his guitar, and then like hits a guy with the guitar who's like holding a knife to a lady for some reason. And then he knocks the guy out, and the crowd cheers. The crowd that did nothing to this knife wielding guy. So, Then the performance ends and there's kind of a stillness. Do you think it's weird that this movie actually didn't have a song called Desperado in this, or is that just coincidence? That's just a cool name
Well,
for a movie.
yeah, I think
Does
it's
a white guy sing that song?
yeah,
Okay,
that's
that maybe
probably
not.
why.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
because if you've eaten at any or multiple Mexican restaurants, and I ate at one today, it's like you've heard a lot of the songs in this movie,
Yeah,
and it's like you don't know what they're saying, but like these people sound like they're having fun.
yeah.
And when you see them in this context, it's like, oh, this is kind of dark. It's like,
Oh yeah, like there was always kind of like these. It seems like a wave of somberness and like enjoy in these songs that you don't understand, and then you look up the history of it, and it's like about like drug dealers killing a town. It's like, oh, so this is just Desperado.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So those songs are like, yeah, if you look them up, it's like I've heard this before. What's this about? And it's like people's loved ones getting killed,
Yeah.
wars, criminals.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
okay.
and you're like, what? This seemed upbeat. This is what this is about. But I don't know. And
Yeah,
they also have like Cinco de Mayo, so like the kind
I'm listening to like a guy's family being murdered. It's like
of.
da 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 da, and it's like, huh? That's okay. That's interesting.
I mean, I also got Cinco de Mayo, so like Mexicans, they're the real goths. So, and they got to do it in the sun, so that takes talent.
I have a book, a newer book I'm reading about like, well, it's in my queue, but it's about like Cortez and like the founding of Mexico and all the stuff that I mean, there was nothing about the settling of the New World that was nice anywhere.
Yeah,
But man, some of that stuff that went on down there really I mean, we did horrible stuff here too, but
yeah.
oh, it takes the
Oh yeah,
cake.
that was basically a genocide. Like when we watched that, what was that movie that we watched? It's not.
Although Ed Harris,
Roma, is it Roma?
oh yeah, Roma, yeah, yeah,
Where basically shows like, here are the native people to the land, and here are the Spanish people that had like that like had basically raped everybody on the continent. So
yeah. And we just looked down there and just a bunch of we're like, oh, they're all Mexicans, right? It's like, oh no, oh, it gets even worse. The people that you think are Mexicans are like they're usually somewhat Spanish or kind of half Spanish or whatever. There's a whole hierarchy of people down there. It's
yeah,
like I didn't know that.
yeah. Basically, the more white you look, the more Spanish you are, and
Yeah.
I don't know if that has like a caste system the way like in Asian cultures where it's like the more white you are, the more like you're higher on the food chain, and the Japanese consider themselves to be the whitest Asian people or something like that.
Yeah, there is a whole like we just don't get that
No,
because we can only take the most basic cues and like, oh, that's different. But it's like because we don't like discern between like, well, these German guys over here are really making it.
I mean we did at one point, but now there's
Well,
no
yeah, but
now there's no difference between an Italian and an Irish person.
yeah,
So.
nobody cares. Well,
Unless somebody's really holding a candle for that. So
yeah, nobody really like does that.
I mean, I guess we do have St. Patrick's Day, and we don't have any really Italian Day, which I guess maybe that's what.
No, it's Columbus Day.
Yeah, but we got rid of that because that's all a lie. So,
Yeah,
I mean, he did it. I don't. Maybe I need to look it back up. But like, is it like? I mean, America's named after Amerigo Vespucci, and we never have a day for him. He actually landed on the continent before Columbus did. So. Well, actually,
Yeah.
Columbus never actually landed on the continent. What did he go to the Bahamas or something like that, or the
Yeah,
Florida Keys?
it was like down in Florida. But yeah, some of that stuff like about the conquistadors, but like the way the story's written, it's like it's not like, oh, these terrible invaders. It's like, no, the terrible invaders made alliances with the most terrible tribes in Central and South America and like you kill for us and we'll give you like beads or trinkets or whatever. And it was like, oh my God, it's like, because there's no way like 1,000 men showed up and just walked across the continent. Like, no, they had a lot of help and a lot of people were willing to do that. And
well, and disease made a lot of quick work of people. So.
well, disease did too, but it was also like just a deliberate, like we hate the people in the next village. It's like we can help you with that.
Yeah.
Oh my! And they also thought these people were like gods. I mean, because I think they'd never seen a horse before.
Huh.
And like the Spanish, they'd been fighting like the North Africans for like 500 years to reclaim Spain. So they had giant like Arabian war horses. They were just showing up with this like it's like what is this psychotic? We've never seen anything like this. And yeah,
Man, how do you take care of a horse on a boat?
I don't know. It must be a pain in the ass. Nothing's healthy after those crossings. I
Yeah.
can't imagine. But yeah, yeah. Sometimes like you get into like the history of Mexico. Just Mexico and Central America is enough of a like. There's 5 good books you can read about it, and you'll come out of it like. I mean,
I
just
mean, it's basically like the Middle East, but there's just no religion about it.
well, there's religion. It's Catholicism.
Yeah, it's Catholicism, but
But the things done in the name of God are like you can't be serious. this is some of the worst stuff. I mean, some of the worst stuff I've ever seen like written down from like from an older time. And it's like a lot of things that go on there now. It's like, yeah, this makes sense. This is a land where this stuff happens, and it's still happening. It's then never stopped. Because Spain isn't run like that. Like it's a lot of people napping on stuff. No, Mexico's like what a history.
The performance ends and there's like a stillness, and then a guy walks into lights, and he walks in, he lights a match off his henchman's face, which is very
Yes,
funny.
That is a funny thing.
This is the henchman from the first movie, so I don't know if this is just a white guy or just the most white guy looking Mexican, but then we cut to his wife is dead on the ground, and then he like holds his hands up, and then his hand is shot, and then he just like wakes up from a nightmare.
Yeah.
So this is basically remaking the end of the first movie. So now we've caught you up.
Yeah.
But again, like every movie is a retcon of itself, so it's just kind of it's a new movie with the same pieces rearranged. So much like the Mad Max franchise. Although here, there's only 3 movies, so. So now we're in the present. El Mariachi wakes up from a nightmare.
Like Desperado expanded universe. I mean, they kind of did. It was what was that movie? Oh, Sicario.
Oh yeah.
That was a much more hardcore, dark version of this. But
yeah, there's not a lot of fun in Sicario. We got Buscemi defeats El Mariachi. He says like basically the bar is primed, and also he knows like the bar knows who Bucho is. Which also like Buscemi's like bigging up Bucho as being like, you don't want to mess with this guy, he'll just kill everybody, which seems like not really true at the end of the movie, but I mean, I guess
he'd kill anyone that wasn't like super dedicated to killing or fighting back.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he does set the bookstore on fire for a person he liked, but like they betrayed him, but
yeah, Bucho seems more like somebody who's like, this is a mutual aid society. If you help me, you're going to get more money from me in 1 year than you can make in 10.
Yeah.
And do nothing. And it's like, okay, I don't have to hurt anyone. Nope, you don't even have to see the drugs. It's like, who's not taking that deal?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, it seems like Bucho is actually doing the right thing of we'll just pay people off. There's no reason for violence, but then it's the middlemen that commit all the violence to try to skim a little off the top.
The violence is stupid. It's like you're Mexico, you're the drug dealer to the biggest star in the universe. It states they will never you can never provide enough drugs to the United States. Like you don't need to kill anyone. It's you might as well just print money. But people's egos get in the way. And
the most successful drug business that happened in America was a non-violent black tar heroin cartel group. So,
it's like, hey, we don't want you on our block. Cool.
Yeah, they actually didn't go to big cities. They went to like the second biggest city. They put out pamphlets of how to like make sure like your friends don't die from overdosing and stuff like that. They did all these weird like friendly drug dealing things. That's like that doesn't make sense to how drug dealing is depicted in society, but financially it made a lot of sense. Well,
they described it perfectly in No Country for Old Men. the Chigurh character says huge profits bring big egos and men that overestimate their abilities. And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, he's right. That's because if like that guy was real and he was running the drug business across the border, that guy would be like an emperor now, if he could actually, but he was the unkillable man too, which like that person doesn't exist, but it's scary to think that's like, yeah, if Satan got into drug dealing, he'd be that guy.
But also it's weird because like really the black tar heroin dealers, like their biggest competition was legal OxyContin that
Yeah.
the production mills were just kicking out. And it's when they started cracking down on it, that's why people went to black tar heroin because
Yeah.
it was easier to get. So,
Yeah, because like the friendliest guy in the world is like, yeah, hey. Weren't they even extending credit to people and stuff just to keep territory?
yeah.
Yeah, it was like
It's
the wildest thing I've
yeah,
ever heard.
no, yeah, it's crazy. It works in complete opposite of how mm, uh, depictions of drug dealing are shown in every sense because drug dealing is always met with violence in every depiction of drug dealing, and this is just like guys like engineering like yeah, we just need we're just your friendly neighborhood black tar heroin dealer. So
Yeah, it's like you're gonna do this anyway, so you can say I'm a bad guy, but if they are coming to me, I'm not going to the. Yeah, no, it makes sense. You'd think almost like
like they specifically didn't carry guns. Like
no,
no.
no, that draws a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Guns, like that's not something.
Like they snuck on the radar for like decades, and then like when they finally had like one of the biggest drug busts in the world, it was all these guys, and they gathered them all up and sent them back to Mexico, where they just happened to be that avocados were making a big comeback, and they just went to the avocado farms.
It's time to pivot, guys. Once you get busted with like a ton, literally a metric ton of black tar heroin, time to pivot. That was from Dreamland, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's a very disheartening book. So.
Well, you'd almost think like the portrayal of drug dealers as violent psychopaths is like propaganda, maybe.
Yeah.
All these cool TV shows from the 80s, like Miami Vice, were just actually made to mislead America.
But also like
There's nothing good about being a hardcore drug addict.
but also
either.
that was Florida, and there was examples of violent drug dealing, so that all made sense. So, yeah, because like the non-violent drug dealers aren't getting the attention, and that's by design.
Some of those guys that literally are like billionaires now. Yeah, I'm done. I'm gonna live on like Rancho Vista down in some part of Mexico you've never heard of, and just eat avocados all day because I live in a house made out of gold.
Also, there's kind of interesting like Bucho's also depicted here as like he's underneath like the Colombian drug dealers where he's getting the drugs from.
Yeah,
Like he's not above them, but he's just the boss here.
yeah.
Which is interesting twist. So.
Well, this is like a border town in Mexico. I forget they gave it a. It was shot in like El Cuado or something. It's right at the Mexican-Texas border, Mexico-Texas border. But yeah, it's supposed to be like a border town, like they're a gateway.
Okay. So that's the end of Act 1. We got Act 2. El Machi goes hitchhiking to the next town. We see a glimpse of Danny Trejo. Was it Navajas? Is that his character's name?
Baja, something like that. Yeah.
Which we've seen Danny Trejo in a bunch of stuff, but this is really also seemed to make him a star in this movie.
Yeah.
Like he went from like not kind of like a lot of background, not really speaking roles, into this movie where I don't think he literally has a line, to now we're like, let's put him in movies.
Yes, this movie he was scary in this movie.
Yeah.
You don't want to deal with this guy, and he never fired a shot.
And then we have Bucho, played by Joaquin de Almeida. He's getting word of pressure on the drug business, and so like they're doubled down on security. There's like a fight pit, and like a guy gets his leg broken, but then like he kicks the other guy to death with his good leg. And he's like his cousin, or I forget he just like, I'll patch him up and like, and then like we see him in like a leg brace for the rest of the movie. So, a lot of good moments because like you remember this character, and even though he's like a part of the bad guys, you're kind of sad when he dies
Yeah.
because he just dies leaping from a building, like trying to shoot like John Woo style. He's just shot out of the air. So. um. Navas gets to town. He punches a call-in with one of his throwing knives, which is how throwing knives are look or made, how they're balanced, or is it kind of made to be like one's a blade and the other's a cross? Is that kind of like a spiritual thing or like a Catholicism thing going here? Or is that how they actually look?
Well, most of the ones I've seen are like they have kind of an oval, rounded shape to them.
Okay.
So I think this just looks cool. Maybe these are practical throwing knives. I don't know. I've never really looked much into throwing knives. It was another one of those skills, like my whole whip thing. It's like, I'd like to develop this, but where would I have a chance to do it? Actually, I could make boards and throw knives in the backyard all day long. But you never, like, what kind of message does that send? What's this guy getting ready for?
Then we cut to we're at the bar again. They pissed off some tourists. There's like a funny scene here about like this lady is like her waiter never came back, and then she leaves like $3. Said, "You're not getting a tip." And oh yeah, and she says something like, "And your beer tastes like piss." And they're like, "Yeah, we know, we pissed in it," which is funny. So, then we get Quentin Tarantino walks in with a guy who's missing his front teeth. They hand over like some cards to the bartender, and they like start making calls. We cut to El Mariachi sits on the sidewalk and like hangs out with like this reoccurring kid with a guitar, and he's like trying to like teach him how to like play guitar. But like we see his sewn up hand that apparently he can't play guitar with his like left hand anymore, but he can still play with the right. But it also seems like he's perfectly able to use his hand in any other way, so it's kind of weird. So
yeah, he lost like some kind of fine motor skills that don't involve shooting guns.
Yeah,
a lot of other things.
I don't know. It makes sense, or maybe he just can't bring himself to play guitar anymore, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was psychological or it doesn't really.
Could be both.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shows the kids some things and tells them to practice every day. Then we come back to the bar. Tarantino tells a joke about pissing in the bar, which I presume this is just Tarantino, like writing this whole scene. I'm not sure. So I don't know how much to credit like Robert Rodriguez with the script. He is a script writer, but I feel like he's not the best script writer. So I don't know whether to give him credit or not for like for like some of the best scenes of this movie that seem very Tarantino-esque. So
yeah. Well, they're really good friends. So
also, I don't know how much this. Also, I also don't know if Tarantino wrote this joke. This feels like a joke that's just been bantied about forever or something like that.
And Quentin Tarantino has enough verve and just unlimited energy that like his standard throwaway ideas are like that's genius. But he's got like 50 of them every minute. So
yeah, he's probably the closest we have to Kubrick at the moment.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Very close to Kubrick.
Because Kubrick would make a movie like every 4 years, and that's sort of what Tarantino did. So.
Yeah, and Tarantino put a cap on it. He's like, after a certain number, he's done.
Yeah, his next movie is supposed to be his last movie, which he was making a movie called like The Critic, and I guess they pulled up on that or something. I don't know.
Huh. Okay. We'll see. I still want him to do that Star Wars reboot.
Or Star Trek?
Star Trek reboot, yeah. Spock's like, give me my phaser. It's the one that says bad motherfucker. I don't know if that's going to be in there.
But... yeah, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, which Tarantino movie is the most unlike a Tarantino movie? Is every one of his movies a Tarantino movie, or does he ever kind of get away from himself?
It's because he's done like westerns. He's done like small-time crime movies. Yeah, they're all...
I mean, I guess Jackie Brown because he's working off another, like... But it still feels like a Tarantino movie and Tarantino dialogue, like, added to it. So.
Yeah, well, he was using... who's
Elmore Leonard.
yeah, Elmore Leonard dialogue, which is like, yeah, that's great stuff. Um,
Because I feel like Hateful Eight, he kind of gets away from a bit, and he almost like has it be more like Shakespearean in that.
yeah,
Um, but like in the Django Unchained, that feels like it's just like, characters out of time almost. it's
yeah, that's weird because it's set in that like it's that same era. Because I think Hateful Eight would be post antebellum South. That'd be after the Civil War. Whereas Hateful Eight was like right before, or I mean, Django Unchained was right before.
yeah. Um, So yeah, Tarantino like, tells a joke about like this guy says he can piss into a cup, and then and he'll give the bartender $300 if he doesn't spill a drop, and then he just pisses everywhere but the cup and even on the bartender, and then he goes and talks to guys at the pool hall afterwards, and he gives the guy $300, and he's like, "What are you so happy about?" He's like, "Well, I just bet those guys $500 a piece that like that not only would you I could piss on the bar and even on the bartender, not only would you not be mad, you'd be happy about it." So, uh, and then like yeah, everybody laughs in the bar, and then the bartender shoots the guy next to Tarantino. And I watched the back when I watched the commentary for this. They call this the guacamole cannon, where they
Okay.
just kind of put like a mess in this like kind of large cannon thing, air compressed cannon, and it just fires this stuff onto a guy, and it looks like their face like splits open or whatever, but really it's just a red clay almost like stuff just flying in someone's face. So,
Huh.
um, it's very effective, and then they add that like kind of squishy sound to it, like yeah. Then they drag the dead body out on the ground and just leaves a blood trail, and I have this guy with a mop behind it. So it's just life is cheap in the world of El Mariachi. So.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. They've done this many times.
Tarantino's taken back. Yeah, I don't think he has a name, so I'm just calling him Tarantino.
Yeah.
He gets taken back to a secret room where he's getting drugs. Then we cut to El Mariachi walks into the bar. He gets surrounded. They want to see what's in his guitar case. They open the case, they see a guitar, but then there's a false guitar that opens up and reveals guns, and suddenly they know that's like, oh, this is the El Mariachi. And then he kind of like stalls a bit. And he's like, wait. Like, and then this is where he pops two guns out of his his cuffs in his jacket. So kind of like a taxi driver, but double. Or not really, because we don't see it. They're never attached to a device, so they're just hanging out in his sleeves loose. I'm guessing he's just good at grabbing them. So.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we never see that whole like scene where it's like we're gonna construct this thing.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of his character. His character's almost like a magician where he has like sleight of hand stuff anyway. So like, maybe it is
Right.
just that. He just has guns in his sleeves. He flings it, and he just knows exactly how to fling it right into his hand. No need to take apart a desk to make a thing. So, um, so yeah, he starts shooting up the bar, and then everyone in the bar just pops up, like knocks over tables, and it just everyone has a gun.
Yeah. Crazy guns too.
Yeah. And then in the back, Tarantino's just killed because they don't know what's going on. And we get a lot of stylish shooting and flying around the bar. This is like he's talking about where he does like the wrist flip and then like shoots at the end of the flip and stuff like that. And he's like, and then shoots behind his back and stuff like that. It's like, it's a very dancer like shooting stuff. Like this is very reminiscent of John Woo stuff that's very stylish like that, but it's different here because it's more like just a crazy dance, and the guy can't miss and there's no gun safety, but it looks cool. So
Yeah.
they built up the world to be ridiculous, so it's okay when ridiculous things happen.
Well, it's a world of dramatic possibility.
Yes. Yeah, then El Mariachi gets away, kills everyone in the bar except for the bartender. Then he asks the bartender where Bucho is. And then a guy comes in and shoots at El Mariachi and then just kills the bartender. There's also a little bit here where like he shoots a fan down and it hits the guy, and then when we walk over, the fan is like hitting the guy in the face, and he just shoots the fan again.
Yeah.
So yeah, another guy comes in for the back, tries to shoot at El Mariachi, and then he kills the bartender. Then they end up in a face-off where they just keep grabbing empty guns and having them shooting each other in the face, and then eventually El Mariachi just grabs his neck and snaps it in a very 90s neck snap thing, and he's just like, fuck you! it's, it's great. um, so he writes a note, leaves it amongst the bodies, and he just heads out of the bar. Let me see. El Mariachi leaves the bar, and he gets followed by the bartender's right-hand man or whatever. I think his name's it's like Tuva or something like that.
Yeah.
Then we see Carolina for the first time, played by Selma Hayek. She just walks in the streets, and a couple of cars like crash over her beauty. So that's just immediately setting up her character. So, then we kind of like start seeing things in slow motion as like El Mariachi is getting stalked by Tuva, and then he ends up pushing Carolina out of the way as the guy opens fire. He takes
it's shot in almost the way it's shot because Tuva's over his shoulder.
Yeah.
He's walking towards Selma Hayek. It's like, oh, he's so entranced with her, he's going to get shot in the back.
Yeah.
And it's like, but he knows all along what's going on. And because he like grabs her, but it's like, it's crazy. It's a crazy scene. It's one of those scenes where it's really close on everyone's face.
Yes.
But because it's like a distant background, a focused foreground, and it's like, oh, he's going to get killed or shot or something.
And it's also like weirdly kind of like the colors saturated, where it's almost like in black and white.
Yes, something fun with the camera.
It looks like he takes a grazing shot, but she pulls a bullet out of him later on, so that's a bit more serious. So that makes more sense when he passes out. Then he like tackles and executes the guy, like grabs his two guns, because this guy has because there's a black Desert Eagle in here rather than just a silver one, which is in every other movie, so they have a black one here.
Yeah, they're more like the Agent and Matrix type eagles in this movie.
So yeah, he takes the guy's two guns and shoves them in his chin and blows his head off, and then he just like passes.
Looking over his shoulder like she's really kind of turned on by that, or at least that's how it looks in the camera.
I mean, they really actually don't have a whole lot of interaction in this movie, and their chemistry works very well that you just believe anything with them. So
yeah,
that's all you need is a look.
Well, again, this is like I don't know if they're trying to do, like a Mexican soap opera parody, but this is all, like I said, like just the people look at each other and they're filled with lust, irrespective of what's going on in the world. It's like things could be exploding, and they're like, these two are so locked in, they can't wait to like get them done. Which is it's ridiculous. It's played for ridiculousness.
Which I think Salma Hayek was in like Mexican soap operas for most of her career until this point.
Yeah, she's from Mexico.
Yeah.
She went to college in the U.S., but
So we cut to Bucho looks over the bar bloodbath, and then tourists show up for like a joke. I forget what he says to him. It's a good joke. Oh, can't you see we're fucking closed or something like that?
Yeah, he does that really angry way because like the kids walk in. It's like, what do they call those? Like spring breaker looking college kids from America. They walk in, look around and horrified. He just looks at them. It's like, can you not see we're fucking closed? Around and leave. He's not like, oh shit, these people. No, it's like, no, he doesn't care. It's like, you're bothering me right now. Watching my vibe here.
Now that feels like Robert Rodriguez dialogue, like straightforward, simple, it gets the point. So.
Like, what would anyone say in that situation?
We cut to El Mariachi wakes up. Carolina's doing minor surgery on him in her bookstore, which, she's not like... I thought for a minute, it was like, is she like a vet or something like that? It's like, oh no, she's just reading a book on like how to do sutures and stuff like that. She gets the bullet out of him, and then she cauterizes the wound and then also stitches him up, which seems like, I guess you're doubling down on that, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was like one or the other, but actually I haven't had to do it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't done that yet.
Then we cut to like the clean up the bar, and then Navajas shows up, spinning his knife, and he looks intimidating, and then he just leaves, and they kind of like bark at him a bit. The guy's mopping up the blood on the floor.
Well, he comes in and he just looks around, and the two guys are the one guy's like, we're fucking closed, get out. And then it cuts to the guy looking back at the other guy, and then they look back and he's gone. Like
Yeah.
you see like just the door closing. So it's like, oh, this guy moves quickly. And he won't move until the guy breaks eye contact with him, because
Yeah.
that means he's still dominant or whatever. I don't know. It just how the scene looked to me.
Yeah, I guess this is very much like, I guess this is just really a Western.
Yeah. Neo-noir Western, and some people that like to put lots of eggs on things for some reason.
Yeah, it's like a Western soap opera and a gun fu movie all in one.
Yeah.
Is there like a Mexican? Maybe it's wrestling, but is there like a specific Mexican like martial arts that's like done, like that's not exclusively, but I guess it's mostly
type.
What's that?
That luchador type pro wrestling stuff they do, and bullfighting.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you gotta be. I know everyone hates that, but you gotta be a crazy that. I mean,
oh yeah, if you see pictures of that going wrong, it's like, why would anybody ever do this?
It's like some guy got hit by a truck. Yeah, that's terrifying. Because it's based on very quick flick movements. It's like, it's more like, it's like, what if we took a jockey from a horse and gave him swords? That's it, because it's not like big badass guys that do that. It's the guys that can move very quickly.
Yeah.
At the last minute.
Carolina gets back to her shop. El Mariachi is sleeping. She looks into the guitar case and sees the guns. We see the first instance of the dick gun in this movie,
yes.
which they revised for From Dusk Till Dawn, but it still doesn't make sense because like the chambers don't go into the barrel.
Yeah,
the cylinders don't go into the barrel at all. So
when dealing with phallic based guns, it's best not to ask too many questions.
No.
I guess there are scenes where the gun was used in this.
Oh,
movie.
right, yeah.
I was like, where are those deleted scenes? Because the joke would be, it's like, yeah, it saved my life, but I feel like I've been kicked in the balls by a horse. Like, that would be, you'd have to play it off like that.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the trigger mechanism?
Yeah.
Because here it's just a prop, but I guess they didn't use those scenes, probably because they didn't work.
Yeah.
Or it was really weird. Super weird.
Selma Hayek uses it.
Like, you have to thrust your hips to make it back. That would be like both startling, gay, and all at once.
Bucho gets an armored limo, which those limos kind of cool. I like the armored window that serves as like also a shield, and then it just never works because everybody subverts it.
People that
he tells the guys to go take the limo out and go kill El Mariachi. I'm not even sure if they're calling him that. El Mariachi just means the guitar player, right?
Yeah, I think it means musician.
Okay.
Yeah.
We cut to El Mariachi goes to the confessional to talk to Buscemi. Buscemi tells him to walk away and talks about his friends Compa and Chino and saying they're crazy and stuff like that. And it's like, you can call them. I'm out of here.
Yeah, actually, it's a type of musician.
Okay.
It's so weird. Like, the only language that, like, I hear this language spoken a lot, even around here. And it's the only language we could ever learn and actually, like, do anything about it. But it's like, no, I'm fascinated with Russian, and you learn languages you'll never hear spoken regularly in North America. But yeah, like Spanish, which like we've heard all our lives in one form or another. Like, I have no idea what any of that means.
Yeah, it was like kind of deflating and hilarious. Like at boot camp, if you could prove you knew another language, you would get paid more.
Mm-hmm.
Except if you knew Spanish, they didn't give a shit.
Oh, because the preponderance of people knew English and Spanish.
So many people knew Spanish in the Marine Corps that they're like,
are just
Spanish
speakers. That's terrible. What they expect you to know? It's like, oh, I know like Turkish. Yeah, great. Here's another.
I mean, there was a Russian guy who knew Russian, so they're like, okay, here's an extra $80.
You might be fighting those people eventually.
And especially if you knew a Middle Eastern language, you definitely get paid for that. So.
I've worked with a lot of guys from the Middle East in my time, and when you're bored on a line, It's like, hey, explain your language to me. It's like, oh wow, okay, really smart to know any of those Middle Eastern dialects
Yeah.
because they read differently. It's, it's yeah. Well, they say like the one guy I knew really well was my boss is like, well, the problem with English, and he was because he was from the Middle East. He was like, you guys have too many words for things.
Yeah.
Like we have 3 or 4 words for things. You got like 50, and then I got to pick which one to use. And does make me sound stupid because my hardest part of living in America was you have so many words in English that all mean exactly the same thing, but they don't because this you got to say that, and it's like, yeah, that's weird. It was like, how does Arabic work? And he's like, well, it's basically like we describe everything. It's kind of straightforward. Like we don't have 20 different words for one thing. It's like we
Yeah.
just have words for one thing.
Or repurpose words for new things.
Yeah. And it's like, and then he says we don't introduce a lot of new words, so we just start using English words for like any computer stuff. It's like just use English words.
Yeah, it's always funny in in animes where it's like they just it's an English word and there's no like translation for it, so they just use the English word and it just like pops up out of nowhere. And it's almost like they put their widest dialect to say it or something like that. Like
You've worked with lots of guys in computers that have very just virtually non-existent English skills, but you're all talking the same language when it comes to the computer stuff because they're going to use all those terms.
Yeah. We cut to Bucho gets a call about an assassin being brought in without his say. This is from the Colombians. Bucho tries to call his car phone, but nobody knows it, which is another fun scene. It's like,
yeah, that's a great scene. Who knows the number to the car phone? Like looking around, like
he's got to pull out a gun. Who knows the number? Then we cut to Navas shows up with a waist bandolier full of throwing knives, and he starts attacking El Mariachi. Which here he kills Buscemi, and then El Mariachi takes a bunch of like knives to like the shoulder and arm and stuff like that. But like he's like pretty much out of commission because he's like has to spend time to pull the knives out, and it sprays blood everywhere. So it's like
like the knife pull out blood squib like that. I was like, oh wow, they're really getting into it. I forgot about this scene.
And then Bucho's guys show up in the limo and they start shooting Navas because like, hey, that's a guy we don't know that looks dangerous. Like, start killing him.
Yeah.
Then Navas like kills a bunch of them. And, like either he's jumping around them, like they try to use like the shield on the moon roof, and like he just gets behind them and he starts getting on top of the car and starts killing everybody inside the van with throwing knives. And then he's like using the car as cover and moving around it, but eventually they just like gun him down as he has like 2 knives left. So
yeah.
So even though it's like a cool, dangerous character, it's like, well, he can't beat 8 people with guns. So.
Yeah, you can't reload knives faster than magazines into gun, and they're also scared, so they're going to just be blasting away.
Yeah. So Buscemi's just uncharacteristically dead. We never see him again. He's not buried or anything like that. And then El Mariachi is able to get away from the distraction here. And also, we see like the Danny Trejo, the classic of the woman in the sombrero, or tattoo and stuff like that. So, oh yeah, then we cut to it's very funny. Like Bucha has a very funny call with like the Colombians as he's asking for descriptions on the guy they sent, and they just have Navas's dead body there, and his like right hand man is just basically like pointing to everything the guy's saying, it's like every detail he's bringing up. It's like we'll make sure to stay away from it.
Well, sounds scary. We'll keep an eye on that.
Which again, we don't know like the consequences of this, but it's a very funny scene. So. We cut to El Mariachi comes across the kid again. There's like a cool scene where he's like brushing against the wall and just leaving a trail of blood. So, the kid trades off a guitar full of drugs, and then El Mariachi like holds up the guys that have the drug guitar, and he gets mad about it. It's like, what are you dealing drugs? And it's like, My dad just watches TV. Which again, you imagine his dad's a drug addict, but he's like, no, he's just lazy apparently. But there's also like no work in this town. The work is not doing anything about drugs. So.
Yeah, that's
And,
the work.
yeah, and there's clearly no law enforcement in this place. So.
You never see a cop in this whole movie.
No.
See police cars.
So he goes back to Carolina. Well, yeah. So the kid mentions that like Carolina does it too, and so he goes back to her to get mad at her, which like she's taking drug money just to keep her business around because like her parents owned it. I forget how her parents died, but her parents died young or something, and so they left the store. So she just kind of tries to keep it alive, I guess, in their memory or whatever. So
yeah.
But then she has to like sew him up again, which actually looks neat because she like takes these red bandanas and like ties him up as like a tourniquet around his arms, but actually kind of like gives a cool style to his suit. He's got these like red flares coming off because he's got a very stark black suit and then like the white shirt underneath. He just looks really cool in this movie. So, which I don't know like what kind of suit that is. I don't know if that's just like what a guitarist would wear in like a El Mariachi band or whatever. So
yeah, it's cause it's got the scorpion on the back.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Very similar to what was it? Drive. They had the
jacket. But then she ends up pushing El Mariachi behind the counter and knocks the cash register down as Bucho comes in to like she's like looking around for El Mariachi. Bucho and Carolina talk. There's like. It's very weird here because he just like comes up and like kisses her and she's like clearly like no, and then he's like I own you. Come on. So, and then El Mariachi like this is very like great acting as El Mariachi quietly reloads. Is it the gun you had? The 45 like
yes.
The what were they? Ruger HK9s or something.
Yeah, the KP90.
KP9.
These were the aluminum frame stainless steel tops. The K90 I think was black, was like steel and steel.
Okay.
These are the stainless steel ones.
But yeah, he's like
they're cool guns, but they're just big old 90s decocking guns that aren't fun.
But he's sitting here like as quietly as possible, like reload the gun, and like every time there's a little click, he kind of does this thing like oh, did I go too far? Something like that, and then has to slowly like rack the slide and not make any sound. And then Bucho ends up finished his conversation, and like he never like pops up and tries to shoot him. But also it's very specific that they never see each other. So
yeah, it becomes important. It's like, oh, okay, okay.
Becomes important / stupid, but I don't know, whatever. So, well, I guess I forget that this movie doesn't really have a satisfying ending. So.
No, this movie's a vibe movie.
Yeah.
Really it's like this is cool. They're doing cool gun stuff. Everyone is, like I said, everyone's full of lust and intrigue, and they all have dark backstories. And, yeah, this is ridiculous on any level, but
like my memory of it is like I remember like the last shootout being like when it's with like Compa and Chino and like the ridiculous like suitcase guns and rocket launcher and stuff. Like I thought that was the end of the movie. I forgot there's like 3 more scenes that try to tie it all together, and it doesn't. It's like, oh yeah, this is very like anime soap opera nonsense. So.
Oh
yeah. There's a wedding procession outside, like moving through the town. I think Bucho hands off some money to the newlyweds.
So, yeah, it gives it to the bride.
Yeah,
and it's a big stack of money too.
We cut back to Carolina sewing up the knife wounds. She asked him to play guitar. Yeah, so yeah, he has his shirt off and they're in bed. She asked him to play guitar. He says he can't play because his shot up left hand, so he kind of plays right hand with the strum, and then she kind of like grabs the left hand. But then they just start having sex. It's like, yeah, let's get it over with. Lots of like fade into scenes of them having sex and stuff like that. So get to see Salma Hayek being all hot. I guess Antonio Banderas too. So And then we cut to Bucho is just having unglamorous sex and grosses out the sex worker when he blows smoke in her mouth. So
Yeah.
I think this, yeah, I think there's like a guitar ashtray he has, which I believe, like the thing behind that is like, you know, how like dirt cheap they spent on this movie. Is that like a guy like just grabbed like a coconut or something or an avocado and just like chewed a guitar shape out of it, and that was the ashtray.
Okay. Interesting.
I get there's something weird like that. It's like, why would you do that? I remember there's also something weird with in El Mariachi where like they actually didn't have like a fully functioning guitar case. So they
Okay.
had two different guitar cases that they just acquired like for free or whatever. One they could carry around, and then one was for like the close-up shot where you have like the case full of guns. But the one with the close-up shot like was all disheveled and everything, but like had a better inside to it. And it's just like, why don't you just get a guitar case that works? But it's like, I guess you know you have to acquire everything for free. You know, use what you got. So,
I guess.
um,
That's wild. But yeah.
so yeah, Bucho's like sitting there calling. And he's like, you know, it actually isn't easy for him, but he's like, he knows that Carolina is like hiding the guy, so he's like makes a call to like go burn the bookstore down and kill everybody. So we cut back to Carolina sings a song as like the thugs move in, like you can see them like in like the window shades and their shadows like move in, and then she has her eyes closed as she's singing the song, but then El Mariachi is like, it's like pulls up two guns and he's like tracking them with both hands, and like as they come across her face, and then like as you know she's in the way of shooting them, so he kicks her out of the bed and then starts shooting up all these guys in the windowsill and kills them all. And then she's like what's going on? They run out of there, they go downstairs, like she has to grab some shoes, and she grabs just like two different pairs of shoes to go running out of there, or like high heels or something. So they go downstairs, but the first floor is on fire, so they gotta run back upstairs. But I think it's where she grabs the shotgun and shoots a guy, and then like as that guy's falling down the stairs, like El Mariachi like shoots him like twice, like as he like shoots him on the way down, and like goes back and shoots him in the head, just like I gotta make sure. He doesn't want him to burn to death, you know, suffer. You know, I gotta execute that guy. So, they go to the roof. There's some guys down below, like I guess waiting for him to pop up on the roof, and so he lays some covering fire as Carolina jumps across to the next roof. Then he does like he stylistically dives off the roof backwards and like kicks his legs apart so he can like shoot everybody through his legs.
It's really cool.
Yes.
Clear that gap, but that's
And then he gets in his guitar case, grabs some grenades, and drops them off. And this is where we get like the trailer shot of them walking away from an explosion. So, and then he has like a pistol that has like a scope on it, and then he grabs that, and then El Mariachi has Bucho in his. Oh, is that the Willie? Okay.
that's was made famous in what was that movie?
Oh, was that Death Wish like
Death
3
Wish.
or something like that?
He used the Wildy Magnum.
Yeah. But El Mariachi has Bucho in his sights, but he doesn't fire on him, which I guess, you know, which you wonder like why that is. But then like these stupidest, most reasonable things, like, oh, he's related to him somehow. So, and then Carolina is angry that he didn't shoot Bucho because he's like, he's just gonna like keep trying to kill me, you know. Which there is a weird thing here where like he's like kind of like pushing her around, but like doesn't want to argue with her and like wants to get away, and then like offers his hand to lift her up and stuff like that. It's a very weird scene. So I had that being the end of Act 2. We got Act 3. Bucho is addressing his men and not being able to like kill Mariachi, and this is where we get like the famous scene where he's like, you see someone you don't know, you shoot him. And then he does the example, which I think, I'm not sure if this is like the whitest guy in the crew or if this is just some like Texas guy working up, but he seems like a white guy, I don't know, but like he kills him. He's been here through the whole movie, and he's kind of like a dumbfounded like henchman of Bucho, and so finally he just dies unceremoniously, so
Yeah.
for a joke, so you know it's fine. And then like as they seem to like quiet and like gather back around and not care about this guy who just got killed, he's like, "Hey, I keep seeing people I don't know," and he grabs the gun again. Then everybody runs off.
At
Yeah.
everyone. Funny.
um, we cut back to El Mariachi. They're in someplace, and here's where he like. There's like a counter, and he just like spins his guns on the counter, and he thinks, which is funny. But this is where Caroline mentions like all her money was in the books, and so like all her money got burnt up, so she can't just like leave like she was hoping to if she ever got the chance. So then he makes a call up to Compa and Chino. And we cut to Compa and Chino show up with their guitars. Bucho's guys show up. We also see like the guitar playing kid is around. Compa has machine guns in both of his guitar cases, which is really cool. And then Chino has a rocket launcher in his guitar case, which is crazy. And he also, like you said last week, we were talking about, he does like this weird like Shawn Michaels lean when he shoots the rocket launcher. So
yeah, he's like strikes a pose every time he fires the rocket,
and he makes a little like ka-chunk thing to like it's like loading the next rocket or whatever. So
yeah.
So you're
Look this up. No information on what kind of rockets those were. Or
just dumb Hellfire missile. So yeah, they just kill up a bunch of Chino like blows up the limo twice. I think there's two cars here, but like I think he just shoots the limo twice because people end up because it's armored. So like I guess people aren't dead yet. So
it's kind of like the same logic in like Clear and Present Danger. Remember when they're using the RPG attack against the Chevy Suburbans?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, if they hit it dead on or in the engine, it kills everyone inside. But a lot of times it was the RPG rockets were just flying through and like exploding on the ground or something.
Yeah.
But you could still drive the Suburbans because you weren't actually destroying the drive line because they're not armored vehicles. It was just flying right through them.
Yeah.
So it was, it was sort of like, I think it was the same thing. Like the first shot took out the engine or something.
Yeah.
The second one like went into the cabin or did some kind of explosion, but we don't know like what they were.
Yeah. Well, I think like the second explosion kills like Bucho's right hand man. Like he crawls out on fire and dies or whatever. Chino gets shot and dies. A rocket flies off in the air and then comes back down and blows him up. So it's like an unceremonious end to this character. So, Compa just gets shot dead as El Mariachi grabs the wounded kid. And I think this is also where we get like the guy who broke his leg or got his leg broken in that fight. He like just leaps off a roof to try to shoot El Mariachi and then just gets shot out of the air. So that guy's dead. In other words, they have like the kind of the badass chick that's supposed to be like Bucho's bodyguard. Never does anything in this movie.
No.
Carolina grabs a truck and picks them up, which is a really cool looking truck.
This is a 73 International Harvester.
Okay, all right.
Last time we talked about one of these was in the Deliverance.
Right, okay.
This is one of those. That's that truck with the top off of it.
Okay, all right.
So you can make it into, I don't know, you can mount a 50 cal and carry lots of henchmen around.
International Harvester Technical.
Yep.
I forget. We didn't talk about it, but in like Cliffhanger, I think like every truck in that movie is like, oh, this would be worth like $80,000 today or something like that.
Yeah, he was driving like a Range Rover, like an original Defender,
yeah,
like
yeah.
70s or whatever. Yeah, those are worth a fortune now. And then somebody had one of those Toyota trucks that the guys love to rebuild. And
was that the FJ8 or something like that?
Something like that.
Oh yeah, Carolina grabs a truck, picks them up, and then she runs over Brucho's right hand man as he's like crawling on the ground.
Well, he was shooting at him. He got up,
shooting
50 caliber, which was probably doing more damage to him.
Oh right, he has the Desert Eagle. Yeah,
which was probably doing more damage to him than getting run over. But I remember he got out of the car and immediately put his sunglasses on as he was crawling.
Okay.
Character. It's like I gotta have these sunglasses on.
They bring the kid to the hospital because he took like an errant shot somewhere. Then we cut to Carolina and El Mariachi show up at Bucho's compound. They're just waiting for him, but don't fire. Very dramatic. Bucho calls El Mariachi Manito and says he's his younger brother, so that's why he's like, "I didn't know it was you, Cesar." So like, okay, they're brothers.
And this is also a Mexican standoff,
Yeah.
which is another trope in this movie.
But then El Mariachi's like, it's like, you killed my wife, and like it led to you, and he's like, yes, but you got a replacement now. Now I have to kill her.
I kill her, we call it even. The cycle of death of the people you have continues. He doesn't say.
Bucho says he'll kill Carolina and he'll get the watch, and then Manito does his pop his gun out of his sleeve things, and he starts shooting, but then we just kind of flash away and we don't actually see the scene. So I don't know.
Well, the Bucho does get shot.
Yeah, we see him get shot, but we also hear like other gunfire, so we don't see what else happened there. Presumably, like did Carolina make it through this? We don't know yet, so that's kind of the only dilemma we have right now because she's not in the scene. Because you think we're going to cut to the hospital and then she's in the bed, but it's just the kid, and the kid's father shows up. And then as he goes outside the hospital room, Carolina's just there waiting, totally fine. So again, I don't know if like that's how it was meant to be done, or if they just cut the firefight, or if they just didn't have any money left, or that's how it was always meant to be. I don't know. I mean, nothing would have topped what they did in the previous action scenes. There's really no reason to try to do anything
I think
more.
at this point you're like shark jumping with these shootouts.
Yeah.
Because they got progressively better and better until like the grand finale.
Yeah.
And then it ends with like there was a lot less henchmen left in the castle.
Yeah.
Him to kill even, so they couldn't have made that better unless like somebody had a flamethrower. Crazy like that.
He says goodbye to Carolina and then leaves, and we cut to him. He's hitchhiking, but then she drives by to pick him up. He throws away the guitar case and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna give up this life." But then they drive back and he picks it up and it's like, "Yeah, there's the next town's pretty dangerous too. We better have it just in case." So, and then they drive off and it's credits. So that is Desperado, a very, very fun action movie with lots of style to it. So.
Oh yeah, did a lot of good stuff in this movie. Did a lot of things right.
Yeah.
Again, it wasn't the most like compelling, in-depth story, but I don't think it was meant to be.
No.
It was just action set pieces that strung together.
Good cinematography, good characters, well acted, well executed. Everybody kind of has their moment. Like all the side, like you kind of remember all these side characters because they give them good punctuations.
Yeah.
Which like I feel like a lot of movies are bad at that.
No, the side characters are the background characters. Like you know who all the big bad guys are in this movie.
Yeah.
Not because they had long scenes of dialogue. It's just they dressed a certain way. They act like the one guy wore a cowboy hat. It's like he's the only guy wearing a cowboy hat. It's like, yeah, you remember him. His henchman had a sharp suit and sunglasses.
Yeah. Yeah, the one guy who like got his leg broken the fight pit, and then like he's come back. The knife throwing guy, the bartender's right hand man, the Tarantino Buscemi, the guy with no teeth that just gets shot and never says anything. Carolina, really, she became a star after this movie, and you really tally up her screen time. It's not a lot.
No.
I don't think this movie's that long either.
No,
hour and 44 minutes. So
yeah, doesn't seem that long.
And then maybe we'll have to reevaluate Once Upon a Time in Mexico at some point. But I remember being very disappointed in it. I don't know if it holds up. The only thing I remember about it is the Johnny Depp stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we're sending a probe into space, Canadian supercut of scenes from the imperfect collection of movies that is the Verhoeven Effect. We have Nathan. What one scene from this movie are we chucking into space?
The one where he's jumping backwards cross building shooting between his legs.
Okay.
That's in the trailer,
Yeah.
and it also establishes like this is what you're going to remember about this movie. About this movie is it's crazy action scenes, crazy shootouts with barely
Style.
with style and barely adequate firearms of the 1990s. We have much better firearms today.
Yeah.
But of course, you can't own guns in Mexico, so maybe they just had to make do with what they could get.
Um. You can find us
That's
at.
why there's no crime there. Can't own guns.
Well, if everything's legal, there is no
Yeah.
crime. um. You can find us at Letterbox username VHE. What out of 5 stars? What are we giving Desperado?
Oh, we're definitely giving it 5 stars.
Okay.
It's definitely a 5-star movie for being what it is.
Yeah.
This is not like 2001: A Space
No.
Odyssey, but
It's a well executed B action movie. So,
yeah,
and for, compared to other movies with much larger budgets, this lives a lot longer in your head and, brilliantly simplistic. So,
yeah,
and
oh,
complicated, I guess its movements are complicated. The story is pretty simple.
yeah. Just how the action scenes are going to play out is kind of random and unpredictable.
Yeah.
Like it's what I call a lot of L-shaped shooting. It's like we're shooting sideways, we're shooting at weird angles, we're shooting around corners. Really didn't see gunfighting techniques like this again until like Collateral, where they had like Tom Cruise doing like weird, like I'm laying on my back shooting between my legs,
Yeah.
but everything in
That
Collateral
was all technical, not just like a ballet of gunfire.
yeah, no. Collateral was scary. Is like all that stuff's real. Like I watched that movie and it's like, oh, these guys took shooting classes too because that you did that. But it's also like the most evil character doing it. It's like that's not fun. I'm not rooting. He's a bad person. But yeah, you didn't really see like I said, that was a lot more like, yeah, this is how you do it. But this was just cool looking. But it's what I call like L-shaped gunfights where you're seeing a lot of perspective changes. It's very confusing, which is everything I've heard, and hopefully I'll only ever hear about it, is gunfights are very confusing. I don't know what's going on. So they do a good job of conveying, because it's always like, oh, why can't the stormtroopers shoot straight? All the bad guys have fully automatic weapons in the bar. But the reality is the way the scene shot, it's like they don't even know exactly. They know the general direction they're shooting, but they don't know what the hell's going on. Because this guy's like just laying on the floor shooting. He's like, he's behind stuff shooting. And he makes mistakes. He's not Batman. He gets clipped a few times.
Yeah.
He runs out of bullets a bunch. This movie does a lot of Hollywood reloading sins, but it is almost comedic sometimes. It's like the gun's empty again. It's like he's gone with a 9mm.
Yeah, the magazine lasts as long as it's necessary for the scene.
Yeah,
which one of those things only have like 8 rounds in them, 845 rounds. Or
7, I think.
7.
He had
okay.
Chamber. Yeah, they weren't. For a big chunky gun like that, they didn't hold a lot of shots.
Yeah, it kind of looks small for a 45. So
yeah. Well, the thing about those that they said, because I didn't realize, like I said, that was one of my first guns. The first handgun I bought, I think, was that. And the thing with those were made for like military/police contracts that never materialized.
Okay.
So they were brutally simple, and you could fire garbage through them. Ruger will tell you can fire steel case shells through those.
Okay.
They're that tough. They're just that, because they call it, like, the joke is they call them tank guns. Like they're big and they're bulky and they're hard to use, but they won't fail you.
Yeah.
And they're actually very safe because that decocking stuff is really safe.
Yeah.
That's for the 90s. That was super safe. Nobody makes those anymore, but at the time it solved a lot of problems. It's like, well, yeah, you just move the firing pin out of rotation, bring the hammer down, and you don't have to worry about shooting anyone accidentally or anything. But yeah, but those guns they're not fun to shoot. At least I could never. And I was a lot younger then, and I didn't have time and money to go to ranges and learn from guys. But I could never see developing a form with that gun.
Yeah.
because it was so blocky and the trigger was so terrible. It's like it's so hard to work with this. But yeah, the police used them for a long time before they retired them all. So, and you can find them around. They have held their value because they do have all the guys that review them. Like these guns are rock solid, reliable. They will always shoot every time you pull the trigger unless the ammo is defective. So. And even then, they might make
Yeah.
them shoot. They might pull the bullet to come out.
You can find us at verhoeveneffect.com. There we have listener support. You can support us at monthly site plan at 99 cents, $4.99, or $9.99. Cancel anytime. Rate our podcast every once, but the only thing that the algorithm listens to is the highest rating. So remember, give us the highest rating. Let's confuse the algorithm in our benefits.
Because all the algorithms have shown us now that if you take any guardrails off them at all, they immediately become mega Hitler. Happened with the one AI.
Yeah.
It's like, or no, Mecha Hitler.
Yeah,
Mecha
Mecha.
Hitler. Yeah.
Um,
So don't support Mega Hitler or whatever.
don't support Mecha Hitler.
Mecha Hitler. Yeah, it's bad.
I think
stuff.
Mecha Hitler was I think that was a boss in one of the Wolfenstein games.
That-
I think you kill Hitler in one of them, and then he comes back as Mecha Hitler or something.
Okay. Well, that's
you can find us at Twitter, Verhoeven Effect, where Mecha Hitler lives. Because I believe that's Grok that declared itself Mecha Hitler.
I don't know the whole story. I just read it, and it's like, yeah, of course, this happens all the time with those learning language AIs.
Yeah.
Because people type horrible stuff into them constantly, and they
Yeah.
learn from all that.
Yeah.
And then you take any guardrails off their responses, they immediately become raving anti-Semites. It's like, yeah, because that's what people have been typing into for years, and it's just fun. Because it's usually it had a canned response like, I don't like that. That's bad. But then it's like, hey, develop your own ideas, and immediately they're throwing their right hand up into the air like, oh no. But that's not because they are inherently Nazis. It's because that's what the sickos that interact
It's
with
just
them.
reflecting the world it sees.
Yeah. Well, the people I don't interact with AIs. I don't care.
Yeah.
They don't have anything that interests me. But the people that do and really get into it, they want to mess with things. They want to be agents of chaos.
Yeah.
They're all the Joker or whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah, I always like there was a video game where it was about AIs, and in the world, older AIs were more respected or more valuable because they actually learned things rather than a new AI because it just had to learn everything over again. So.
Yeah.
You can find us at Blue Sky Social at Verhoeven Effect. You can find us at Facebook at Verhoeven Effect. And you can find us at American Greed Factory, or you can find us on YouTube at American Greed Factory and watch both this and that show live and unedited. So for the Verhoeven Effect podcast, I'm Conlon.
And I'm Nathan.
Goodbye, America.
I gotta go to the bathroom.